Now we entered the follow-up session of the morning sharing, and I would like to invite you to listen or interact. We can also make questions like yesterday with the following mind. Tomorrow is the last day, and we need to bring something back home. And many of you sharing that question, how to raise the awareness that we are one vocation in two forms. How can we help the other 1,300 citizens who are not here to share the same feeling, convictions, what we get here? So when you listen, try to figure out what we will share tomorrow in the province group, way forward. This is the last of the 3 steps of discernment. We have been listening. In these 2 days, we try to interpret what God is telling us through the brothers, through the situation, through the young people. And tomorrow we are called to bring together maybe 5 little points for each one of us at the personal level and for the whole provincial community when we go back home. So I give floor to Brother Raymond Moncalia.
Thank you, Father Father Clement, and also Brother Nam. Okay. So for the reporting, what we will do is I would like to ask the reporters to stand on the stage, so that for proper video documentation. So what we'll do is group 1, and then group 2, group 3, group 4. Okay, so that the reporting is continuous. So we have two microphones available. And then after your report, kindly put on the puzzle the power words, or the words that would summarize your summarized report to be placed there on our bulletin board. Okay, a word or 2 or 3. Okay. So for the flow of our reporting, since there is only one question, what we're going to do is we will ask all the groups to report first. Okay. Now, and then after all the reports, that's the time we will open the floor for additional contribution, reactions, clarifications. Okay. But what do I want you to do while listening? Okay. What I want you to do while listening is to check, is the report something that speaks to me of my experience? Is that the brother I would like to be? Is it the brother that I am? Another thing is, does the report tell me more about what a brother should be? Like this report would say, yes, that is something that I like. That is something I never thought of, but very true of me. And then the third thing is, you might have also your questions, your doubts, your reactions that need to be clarified. So this is also something that we need to listen to. So 3 things. What affirms us in our identity as brothers? What is something new and different that adds some more to what we know about ourselves? And then number 3, what are the questions raised or reactions to the reports? Okay, so let's begin with the first 4 groups. So Brother Bosco Hai for the group of Zati, Father Paul for the group of Shandor, yours truly for Sruji, and Father Philip for Alonso Thomas group. So please come up to the stage. Okay, so we'll have Brother Rafi for taking the place of Brother Bosco for Zati Group. Ito ka. So you read.
This is the summary of our sharing this morning. We see ourselves as brothers who are mature in our lives of prayer and well equipped with the necessary scholastic, technical, and social capacities as relevant preparations in response to the changing times. We ought to be able to read the signs of the times and adjust to the pressing needs, especially when it concerns the young people, making ourselves available as a mark of our presence among them as Salesians, and taking it as a continuing aspect of our formation as Salesian brothers. There is also a need for us brothers to be able to know who we are working with and for, and the world that we are working in now. In this way, we can give of ourselves in the most relevant way, and we can make us, together with the community, the image of Christ in the world.
Thank you. So thank you to Group 1, Zati Group. Okay. Group 2, okay. Shandor Group.
This is our input. In order to know what kind of Salesian brother we need for the youth of today, we have to know first who are the youth of today. We note some aspects of today's youth, very creative, interested in gadgets, but needs guidance. Hence, for today's youth, the Salesian brothers should be able to connect with the young people, especially in terms of the latter's interest. Perhaps the Salesian presence of the Salesian brother in the digital world can help him connect and guide the young. Moreover, he should be able to work with others, teamwork, not only with the other Salesians in their Salesian community, but also with the lay people through networking on account of their expertise. But what is noteworthy is the simplicity and humble life of the Salesian brother that attract the young people. These traits, along with the zeal of the Salesian brother to help the young in their needs, like teaching them skills, guiding them towards moral and correct thinking, and the many other interventions that the Salesian brother can offer due to their various talents, make them very relevant, not only to the young of today, but to all.
So thank you to Shandor Group. Suruchi Group, my group. So what kind of Salesian brother for the youth of today in East Asia and Oceania? It's about presence. The first one is real presence. The Salesian brother is someone present where the young are. It is being a positive, realistic model who accompanies and guides as a brother like Jesus. Even in instances where a brother cannot be directly involved with the young, but our hearts are with them, life for a brother becomes meaningful. It even calls for the brother to set aside his personal preferences, dying to self, so he can fully be with the young. The second is virtual presence. The Salesian brother is called to be virtually present in the digital playground. It is an animating presence, fully connected, aware of what the young are talking about, having meaningful conversations, guiding and fraternally correcting. In this manner, the brother is present where the young are, even after they have left our schools. It also calls for the brother to free himself from his cultural biases in the internet world. The third is community presence. It is not enough for the Salesian brother to be present with the young. He is also called to be present to the young and senior converse in community. Living and working together becomes a prophetic sign for the young of the fraternity we live, of the communion we embrace, of the love of the Trinity we witness to. Holy presence. The Salesian brother is one called to be authentically holy. This is the greatest presence we can offer the young, and to express also this holiness by praying for the young. And the last one is all-embracing presence. It is not enough for us to present the Salesian brother vocation to the young people, especially those who are aspiring for this kind of life. It is equally important to educate our lay partners, parents, members of the Salesian family, parishioners, to a healthy understanding of Salesian religious life. Thank you. So we go to the Alonso Tomas group with Father Philip.
For the fourth group, we believe that today's Salesian brother in EAO should be like Don Bosco, human, that is, happy and contented, hence attractive, compassionate and capable of empathy towards the poor and abandoned, a peacemaker who creates harmony in a divided, wounded, and war-torn cultures. A spiritual model, a man of God who lives a consecrated life radically yet simply and humbly. Intelligent, capable of reading the signs of the times because he never stops learning, updates and reinvents himself according to the needs of the youth. A good teacher who learns the skill of communication and new languages. Finally, a pastor, a good shepherd who knows how to see, listen, and understand, an approachable person who knows how to counsel correctly and wisely, flexible, obedient, and capable of adapting to current needs.
Sound check, okay. So thank you very much to the first four groups for their sharing and report. Okay. Now we go to the next four groups. Rodriguez Rafael group with Father Benedict, Ramos Heliodoro with Father Jobet, Codera 1 with Brother Ed, and Irene Ramon with Father Mel. Okay. Please come up on the stage.
Yes. 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 So I just summarized the what kind of Salesian brothers we should become. So I make some sentences. So we need to become Salesian brothers who are to be loved by the young, to continue to make commitment into their ministry in various aspects of society, never giving up the young who are in any situations, to pursue happiness in following Don Bosco and Christ, to keep striving his life to be closer to God and the young in growing vocation, to work together with praying, men of God and Christ. Maybe some more. One sentence is omitted. And then to live the simple life, and then the connection of Christ between people. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you to the Rodriguez Rafael group and Father Benedict. Okay. Father Jobet for Ramos Heliodoro group, and then Brother Ed.
So for us, the Salesian brother is one who is deeply grounded in his Salesian identity and lives joyfully the religious life. And this is explained following the framework of GC27, which is mystics in the spirit, prophets of fraternity, and servants of the young. So for mystics in the spirit, nourishes his love for God and spirituality through the Eucharist, confession, devotion to Mary, and prayer life. Promotes growth in simplicity and advocates love for life, peace, justice, and care for creation. Second, for prophets of fraternity, he fosters active presence in every community and working harmoniously with converse. And for the servants of the young, has the pastoral heart, the root of patient and steadfast attitude of Don Bosco in ministering to the young from different settings, especially those most in need. And secondly, Salesian brother is one who is adept at reading and responding to the signs of the times. He goes back to the original spirit of how Don Bosco answered the challenges of his times and thinks out of the box in order to introduce contemporary pastoral interventions. Secondly, he continues to share the Salesian spirituality in journeying with the young in different and new situations. And lastly, this comes out as a proposal to spread the positive vision of life because happiness is contagious to the young, especially those in the digital world. We propose to have a collective presence in social media by putting up an EAO cyber oratory where the young people are welcome, educated in the preventive system, growing in healthy interaction with one another and with people of different cultures, and be accompanied in the discovery of their vocation. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Jobet and the Ramos Eliodoro group. So we call on Brother Ed, Codera 1, followed by Father Mel. Please come up.
Good afternoon. This is the summary of our group sharing. The Salesian Brother for the youth of today in AO. The Salesian Brother is a consecrated person. He lives and gives witness to his vows to reach out to the poor youth and to be an example to lay people. The Salesian Brother is a community person. He is able to receive support from his confreres and is able to listen, to care, and to work with his confreres. He can be easily approached by the young and the lay for not being a priest who is treated with high regard. The Salesian Brother is a Don Bosco on the road. With his community, he practices the preventive system as an educator and a pastor that is able to meet the young where they are and to dialogue with them in the religious, cultural, social, and technological contexts. He is a leader and a mentor who accompany the young. He is an inspiration and model for young people, particularly for the aspirants and confreres in initial formation. Thank you.
So thank you, Brother Ed and the Codera 1 group. Okay, we go to Father Mel to represent the Irene Ramon group.
The EAO Salesian brother of today, he has a deep spirituality, at the same time, the ability to build relationships with lay mission partners, youth, and government officials. With lay mission partners because they help run our institutions with the Salesian spirit. With youth because the SB is their pastor and educator. With government officials because they give us permits and they are the biggest partners in our mission. He is faithful to Don Bosco, yet open-minded, and is at pace with the EAO youth of today, without abandoning his being an educator. He adapts himself to the culture where he is assigned, is adept in the many forms of social media, and is present in the world of sports, whether in the hard court or field, or in the digital arena. He is simple and humble, yet strives to be competent and professional in his field of specialization. As an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, a journalist, or whatever he is called to be. And constantly updates himself because the needs of today's youth are constantly changing. He also strives to go beyond the boundaries of the shop, classroom, or office and gets involved in the burning issues of the secular world. Human trafficking, ecology, sustainable development, human rights, etc.
Okay. So thank you, Father Mel and the Irene Ramon group. Okay. Now we go to the next 4 groups. Brother Bryce for Vasquez Esteban group, Brother Francis for Sid Antonio, Father Camillus for Garson Anastasio, and Brother Tanad for Gracia Pablo. So, Father Poon.
Good afternoon, dear conference. I have put our group suggestion into 4 dimensions. First one, human dimension. We need brothers to be gentle, kind, committed, and connected with young. Our approach should be non-judgmental and relational. And we need to train brothers and make them experts in humanitarian field. Spiritual dimension. We need to lead the young to God through the intense, deep, personal, relational experience of ourselves with Jesus Christ, who is our model of religious consecrated life. We need to share our faith experiences with the young. Intellectual dimension. Brothers should be encouraged for choosing the field of work according to the signs of the time and need of the hour, by being qualitative and professionalized. Those capable should also enter the apostolate of pen. Apostolic dimension. Apostolic consecration is communitarian. We must be clear what comes first, consecration or mission. As brothers, we need to accompany, animate, be active, and attentive to youngsters. In society, we need to be social activists when the need arises. No youth, no heaven.
So thank you to Brother Bryce and the Vasquez Esteban group. Okay. So Father Poon for Sid Antonio group.
Yes. A Salesian brother is a charismatic and charming person who is able to attract people around him. He is happy and confident with his vocation as a Salesian brother. He is willing to devote himself totally to the young, standing alongside with them and accompanying them with loving kindness. And then we are aware of the fast-changing social and working situation in our own places. And yet a Salesian brother is courageous in adapting themselves to new challenges and in developing one's talent and profession. Also, a Salesian brother sets good example for the young, being a significant adult figure for them. Without overlooking his identity as a consecrated person, he continues to grow in his spiritual life, his passion for God and for all men. In any possible ways, preaching the good news remains an indispensable work. In doing all this, a Salesian brother would be truly father, teacher, and friend of the young.
Thank you, Father Poon and Sid Antonio group. Okay. Garson, Anastasia with Father Camilos.
Salesian, a Salesian brother is rooted in Christ, in Don Bosco, and in the conditions of the young people. He should be simple, friendly, accompanying, humble, and approachable. And he is a man of God, healthy in his identity, enthusiastic, dynamic, happy, joyful, and proud of his own vocation, and reads the signs of the times and keeps himself abreast with it in a prophetic and professional way in order to make a difference. Salesian brother has to see Jesus in the young people and vice versa. The challenge is a Salesian brother needs creative ways to connect personally to the young in order to break out from the prison of the digital world. Thank you.
So thank you, Father Camilos and Garson, Anastasia group. Okay, so we go to Brother Tanad for the Gracia Pablo group.
This is our summary. The characteristics of a Salesian brother for the youth of today in East Asia and Oceania. A Salesian brother must be fully human. He first of all must be humble and simple. He is friendly, approachable, and optimistic. He too must be professionally prepared and formed to be more relevant to the task he will later do, especially in the fast emerging digital world that makes him a better organizer, leader, and educator. But at the same time, he too must be flexible and open-minded to the demand of the apostolate. A Salesian brother is a man of God. He cultivates a personal time for prayer and consistent with the community practices of piety. These will be his main sources for his dedication and perseverance for the mission. Last but not least, he is a Salesian. He must have an oratorian heart, always ready to stay with the young, ready to listen, understand, and journey with them with loving kindness. He is open for collaboration and work together with our lay missions partners and other members of the Salesian family and also in the church. We don't need us to be a Superman to embody these characteristics. He needs only to be an authentic witness to his Salesian religious identity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brother Tanad and the Gracia Pablo Group. Okay. So we go to the last set of group reporters. Okay. We call on Brother Marshall for Ortiz Jaime, Father Michele for Ramos Angel, Brother Tantay for Disho Hill, and Father Aaron for Bartolome Blanco. Okay, please come up on the stage.
So this is the summary. This is the summary of what the group had shared this morning. We should move from old forms to new forms of apostolate, always reflecting on the times. To consider more critically the talk given by Brother Muller on the kind of Salesian brother for today. 3 points: to be a holy Salesian, to be an educator, to be a friend of the young. He should be open to change and up to date. He should be a man who is able to get out of his comfort zone, to be with the young, to understand their situation, walking with them, and not trying to catch up. He should be a man of reconciliation like St. Paul, using our experience of brokenness to help the young. He should be faithful to Don Bosco's charism, being friends of the young and being actively present through the whisper in the ear and active assistance that thinks ahead. There should be complementarity of both priests and brothers and the Salesian family to bring more coherence in the rendering of our service to the young. To be more professional and competent in our work, to make our efforts more effective and appreciated. To be men of faith, full of zeal, fire for the young. Thank you.
Okay. So, thank you very much to the Ortiz Jaime group with Brother Marshall.
Okay, Group 14. As a premise, I have to say our group, we decided on the precise wording, so the result is very short because each word has been agreed among all the groups. So, what kind of Salesian brother for the youth of today in East Asia and Oceania? He is deeply rooted with his family and the religious community where he lives, faithful and happy in his vocation as consecrated Salesian. He is a man of prayer, aware of the need of spiritual direction. He is available and fully prepared for his mission as educator and pastor of the young. Thank you.
The shortest. Yes. Thank you very much to the Ramos Angel group.
For the group 15, what kind of Salesian brothers for the youth of today in East Asia and Oceania? The EO region calls for the Salesian brothers who are deeply rooted with the church and their love for Don Bosco and Our Lady, which flows in their life of prayer and work. The brothers are challenged to have the heart of a missionary who seeks from the changing world the young people and to respond to the new forms of realities that they find themselves into. They are most open to the signs of the times with their closer contact with the young people, hence enabling them to make relevant and timely responses. The Salesian brothers ought to show as well their integrity as part of their religious identity, loving the responsibilities vested upon them, and extending himself far beyond the confines of the offices that they are holding, going to where the young are and witnessing to their realities. The call of the young people is for Salesian brothers who can listen and accompany them in their moments of throes, hopes, and joys, being faithful guides and companions.
So, thank you to the Radisho Hill group.
For the last group, it is also short and concise. So the group shared that the Salesian brother for the youth of AEO today should be holy and happy with his vocation. He should be humble, good example, and at the same time, professionalize himself to be an affected animator and educator of the young. The Salesian brother should actively contribute to community building and in carrying out the mission entrusted to the community. He should give a well-prepared good morning and good night talk. He should have a meaningful presence in accompanying and guiding the young. Also, be an effective collaborator with the lay mission partner.
So, thank you, Brother Bess, and the last group. Okay, we have three groups have not yet given their puzzle to complete the one only. Okay, to complete the face of Don Bosco and Shandor. So please, if you're not yet finished, kindly put it here in front. Okay. We have been listening to the reports of the 16 groups. There is a richness of information. But please take note, these are not only information. These are our personal conviction. So as you listen, as you were listening to all the reports, what about the report affirms your personal conviction? What about the reports you are able to say, yes, that is who I am as a brother for the young. Yes, that is who I am as a brother for the young. Let's have 30 seconds of just quiet to reflect on everything we have heard and how this affirms what it is for us to be a Salesian brother. Okay. The second one is this. From all the information, again, and the personal convictions you have heard, was there something more? Something more that speaks to you that, yes, that speaks to me also of who a Salesian brother is. We used to say this is our aha experiences. It is a way of saying, that's something new. That speaks very much of who I am. So from what you have heard, was there something more that you discovered about who a Salesian brother is? one of the things that was going around was the talk of Brother John Paul. We were able to discover something more about who a Salesian brother is. And so we ask ourselves, from what we have heard, is there something more that we are called to be as a Salesian brother today? We'll give another 30 seconds. And the last one is, do you have your questions? Are there some doubts, some things that are not clear from the report, from your own experience in life as a brother? Something for us, maybe a challenge. Again, let's give ourselves another 30 seconds just to reflect on this. Okay. Now, in a big group like this, not everybody will be given an opportunity to raise their hand, to stand up, and to share. No? So what I would like to do is to invite you to share with your seatmate these three questions. With your seatmate, these three questions. What affirms you in terms of your personal conviction as a brother? What is something new that you discovered more? Is there some question, clarification that you want? So these three things. So share with your seatmate. Okay, we'll give 20 minutes for this, 10 minutes each, more or less.
Oh.
Okay, so now we go back again to the big group. We open the floor for the sharing. Okay, so what to share in the big group? So you can share your own testimony of your personal conviction and that's how that has been affirmed. You can share also in the big group your learning. And if you have some questions for clarification, some reaction that you wish to address, maybe to Brother John Paul, to Father Ivo, or to anyone here, you may do so. So we have the 2 microphones. You just raise your hand, okay, and we will call you. So the floor is open for open discussion. Yes. Sure, yes. Now, if it's about the report of the group that you want clarified, you can also raise that one up. And then if we have more time, then there were some questions raised in the previous sessions that were not addressed. So maybe we can give also Father Ivo and Father John Paul some opportunity to share some more about those questions that were raised in the previous sessions. Okay, Father Clement.
Usually I used to sing what is not said, what we don't speak about. So I was listening carefully, and 2 things which I collected during our talks at the table and here and there during these 3 days, I didn't see them on the screen, and this is for me usually the very important indicator. The first theme is about brothers who need to reinvent themselves when they are retired from the school, no chance to continue the profession, whatever they did for many, many years. That means start a new life at 65, 70, whatever is the age according our countries. And I heard for a few brothers it's a quite challenge. And I believe it would be good to bring it to our provinces, because in some provinces there is not yet senior brothers. Some provinces like Japan and China, they can advise to the others. So this would be one point, according to me, of very, practical and very inspiring sharing from those provinces who are already growing old. They may share to the others. And the second point is about the one field of mission, which is not a mission actually. It's about Salesian family. There is one brother here, Brother Louis from FIS province, who is the provincial delegate for Don Bosco alumni, maybe the only brother around us. Brother Josaphat from Vietnam, he was in last century a provincial delegate for Salesian Cooperator. But we have very few brothers like that. When I read the evaluation from Manila, I was a little bit shocked, because there was very strong point on that. Salesian family doesn't know who is a Salesian brother. And in the same time, it's not easy to push the Salesian brother to participate in Salesian family gathering, like vicious circle. And I believe this is one beautiful field. We should be honest, the priest, when he is on Sunday and you ask him to attend a meeting cooperator, past people, no time, just blessing, 5 minutes, bye-bye, I am busy to go to the next place. Brothers, maybe, and they do, if they are entrusted, more time to accompany well and to really enhance the Salesian family. In the same time, the vocation will be known. So one really sector of Salesian life and mission, which is called Salesian family, especially cooperators and past pupils, which may be like win-win for many, even for those seniors. Be super healthy, but you dedicate a time for accompaniment of group of our past pupils, young or old, of the Salesian as a group Salesian family. So these two things which I missed on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Clement, for that observation. Yes, Brother Luigi, okay, followed by Michael Lynch. So Luigi first. Luigi first, and then you, and then Michael. Okay, go ahead, Luigi.
Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Brother Paroli Luigi, Philippines, Filipino, at least for 56 years there now. My point which often I raise is this. If we talk about poor boys, poor youth, marginalized, and all those things, I heard a lot of beautiful qualities, wonderful qualities, which are good for brothers and fathers. But what do we do for those people who are very poor? How do we prepare them for their life? They have to work in the family, father and mother. They have to prepare their own family. They have to prepare their own work. They have to be prepared for the industry, and they have their own personal things. What do we do for them? How can we help them? And that is my question, because I didn't see much of that. Now, as we are preparing them for a skill, whatever skill, don't always talk about shops, but whatever skills, a skill that helps him to earn the living and to put up a family and to live very good Christian life, social life, productive life, to be honor of the parents and the community where it belongs. I don't hear that much. Because that is what they feel that they need. They need a lot of these things. So what do we do for them? I'm happy that I being always in the skills or in the Manila, now in another place. We are getting young people from the farm somewhere who are very, very poor. We bring them to the training center. We give them formation, both Christian formation and so on, technical formation. We send them for implant training and so on. They are ready to start their own life. And part of the money goes to the family. But I'm not happy with that. We had to take care also of the children on the farms. Many of those children do not eat when they go to school. So we had to have the children. How do I do it? Through the parents. Who parents have the land, small land, but we have to help them. That is what I would like to see. They are very poor, marginalized, whatever you call it. And what do? Yes, we pray very much, of course, definitely. Many other beautiful qualities that all the Salesians must have. But I would like to see some of these things here. What can we do for them? Good morning, good afternoon to everybody.
Thank you, Brother Luigi. That this is personal conviction of Brother Luigi. I've been 20 years in the Agrotech Training Center in the south of Luzon. Okay, Brother Michael from Australia Pacific.
Good. Thank you very much. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
The usual thing is you ask those who can't hear to raise their hands. Thank you. What we heard this afternoon in the report from the groups about the qualities of the Salesian brother was absolutely magnificent. I just would like to meet one of those individuals who had all of the qualities that were listed. It would give me tremendous encouragement. The reality is we've all got talents God's given us, we've all got some abilities, but we haven't got them all. And as we mentioned in our group this morning, and it was reported back, the Salesian apostolate is really a teamwork. We're part of a team. I remember back with my novice master years ago, he said, as a general idea, the Jesuits often work as individuals, the Salesians work as team. and as a distinction between the Jesuits and the Salesians. And I think that's a fairly fair distinction from the Jesuits that I know. So if we're going to make greater use of the brother, and he's got a lot of abilities, it's part of that team. We've also got to look at the, probably what, for want of a better term, is the legal structure of the congregation. At this moment, when we have a provincial chapter, the rectors go automatically. Each community elects a delegate, and then there are some elected from the province. Well, it is a method of election that is biased in favour of the clerics, the priests, because of their greater numbers, and hence there are often fewer brothers participating in provincial chapters. It was mentioned at the general chapter that there are a very, very small number of brothers there. And I think that that is another means whereby the brothers have got something to contribute at a general, at the world level. And the other point that's often been made, that again as a generalisation, the brothers are often more practical and have got a contribution to make at all levels of the congregation, community, province, and the world level, because they've often got a more practical practical approach. So I suppose what I want to say in summary is that it was great to hear all of the qualities of the people that we've, you know, what the brothers should be. Sadly, there won't be too many that have all of these qualities. You'll be lucky if you can meet one. And then secondly, we've got to be practical. The congregation can benefit if we can make use of the resources that we've got, and to make use of the people that we've got, of how better to use what we've got. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michael. Okay, so Carlo, followed by Michele. Okay, Carlo.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for those sharing. It was really an examination of conscience for me, reading all those points that were brought out. I have affirmation, no? As I was listening to the conference reporting, I am more affirmed that the real world of the brothers is really in the secular world, because our being lay makes us able to contribute to the lay aspect of our apostolate. So we should be closer to the lay people. That is an affirmation. But we should be consecrated and living a spiritual life and living in a community. The second point is that, for me, also connected with what Father Clement said, the trend in today's world is the digital world. Migration and ecology, social justice. And I think these are the areas where the brothers could get involved, where we become more relevant and closer to the needs of the times. But I feel also guilty that I am not able to catch up with the trend, especially in the digital world. I feel out of touch with the world of the young people. So how do we help our elderly conference reinvent themselves so that we don't become, or they don't become, irrelevant in the missions? This is the second point. The third point is my clarification. Where the brothers are to involve in the secular world, sometimes they are taken out of the community. My question is for the priests, especially the rectors. Are our superiors ready to open up to the possibilities of brothers getting involved deeply into these concerns of migration, where brothers are working with migrant workers, getting involved in ecological concerns, social justice, are we open? I want to ask for experiences from directors, whether they have conference or involved in this, and are they able to give them opportunities? Sometimes they are afraid. What about your mass? Because these activities take you out of the community. Sometimes they make you absent for practices of piety. And the concern is, what about your community life? What about your prayer life? So I want to ask this question, clarification from among our priest superiors. When brothers get involved deeply into this kind of social works, involving with migrant workers and problems with social justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Carlo from Laos. Anyone who would like to address the question raised before we move on? Okay. Father Clement is mentioning David O'Brien. David, would you like to share something in this regard? Romnick, David is there, at the back. David is from Australia Pacific Province.
Hello. Now, unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, that's now. So I'm not quite sure. I've been caught on the hop a little bit. I suppose the work that I'm doing with ACRAF, which is one of those things. What do they call them? Acronym. It stands for Australian Australian Catholic Religious Against the Trafficking of Humans. And I've been involved in that since probably about 2011. And I wanted to get involved in it because I did a course in New Mexico at Sangre de Cristo. I don't know whether anyone else has done that course. And we had a facilitator come in to talk about justice, the late Michael Crosby, who's a Franciscan. And Michael mentioned about, or talked about, social justice. And what I remember about that is that at the end he said, we should not just talk about social justice, that we should be involved in social justice in whatever way we can. So it could mean that, if we're working in a situation, we're in a boarding school or something like that, what are the social justice issues there that come as part of that work? In a youth centre, what are the social justice issues there, et cetera, et cetera. I decided to look at, what else I could do in terms of social justice. My initial idea was to go and look at what's happening with refugees and so on. But in the end, with the encouragement of a Good Shepherd sister, I decided to look at ACRAF. Then my thoughts were, how can I get involved in such a huge, big area of human trafficking is? I've been speaking to some people during this conference and explaining that in some cases we can see human trafficking involved with things like the sex industry, where young women are brought out from different countries to work in prostitution and things like that. But there are also hundreds of other areas. The building industry is another area where people are subcontracted to do certain jobs within the building industry. Someone puts their name forward with a price, I want to put tiles on the floor of wanted to put tiles on the floor of the bathroom in a multi-story building. They put their hand up and say, yes, I can do it. I'll give you my price. And they win the contract, but in actual fact, they have no one employed in their industry. So they come over to China, or they come over to Vietnam, or they come over to some place and they hire people, but they don't pay them enough money to do the job and so on. And it becomes a trafficking incident. They give them a mattress on the floor of a warehouse and so on and so on. I didn't know how much I could get involved in it, but using the fact that I enjoy doing, I do a radio program on community radio, and when it came up, the idea came up that perhaps we could do 30-second community service announcements on the radio in different languages to say to people, you know, do you know someone? Have you been exploited at work? Have you been in a situation where you've come somewhere? I mean, one of the other things is fruit picking in northern Victoria, southern New South Wales, where a lot of people come from different countries, gives them a chance to come to Australia to enjoy the weather, etc. And they don't get paid the proper wage for it. Things like that. So, so I felt that I could get involved in doing the 30-second announcements on the radio. So I got together with a couple of other people, and we've sent three languages out to 3 different community stations so far. It's Vietnamese, Korean, and Mandarin, and I'm working on probably about 8 or 9 more in other different languages. Not just the languages where the people come from, although that's important, but also other languages, because people say to me, what's trafficking? Didn't slavery go out with William Wilberforce, or whatever his name is? No, it's still relevant, still in a lot of places throughout the world. I think that hopefully that covers what I need to say. If anyone's got any questions, just come and ask me. Thank you.
Thank you, David. There is this famous saying, no? Think globally, act locally. So we call on Michele for your intervention.
Very simple, because I don't know if we are live or something, because I see something there. But anyway, so I'm not meant to criticize anything or anywhere, just to present, very simple, because Father Clement says that the meeting, for example, there are interviews on YouTube. Now in China, YouTube is not accessible. Then he says there is a group on Facebook. Now Facebook in China is not accessible. Then he says you can send the mail to Google. Google in China is not accessible. And then he says, oh, but in case you can join the WhatsApp group. WhatsApp in China is not accessible. So just to explain, very simple, that a very practical thing that is happening when we talk about sharing what we have done without in any way criticizing any situation. That's the reality, is not a secret, is known. And regarding digital, just one word, someone mentioned cyber oratory or virtual presence. I believe that in the next few years, this will be a huge challenge. I mean, the virtual presence. You can have an algorithm who can think as a brother according to the data that we input. And like Siri, a young can just ask the virtual brother to answer his spiritual search, so we don't need the physical brother. I mean, this will be, the brother or whatever. This is coming in the next 10 years. And so we need to open our eyes and to be careful not to be replaced by a machine. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Michele, for that insightful intervention. Okay. So we have Brother Louis from the Philippine South Province. Okay. Anyone else after him? Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Louis.
Good afternoon. This is more of a follow-up question with that of Brother Carlo. Will the superiors be ready to see a new, especially with what was presented to us, will the superiors be ready to see a new emerging Salesian brother that is present digitally, more active, even in the Salesian family or with the lay, and even in the field of professionalization? Yes, I think the superiors will say yes. But the question is, how can we be assured of their support? I'd like to have an answer from the superiors coming from the Asian context. To say yes is something, but I want really an assurance that there is a support coming from them. Because I've been talking with the other brothers coming from the different regions or provinces, and it would be important for us to have an assurance from our superiors. Thank you.
Thank you, from Brother Louis. Okay. Brother Joachim from Vietnam province.
The reason I am here because I saw Father Ivo and Brother Muller. They are falling asleep. That's why. I want to follow the question and the idea of Brother Louis because sometimes we forgot the brothers. What I mean is, I did not mean that I'm not judging the priest or the community because somehow they forgot brother, the presence of brother in the community. But I want to see that we have been talking a lot about identity of the brother. But what I'm going to say that do we have the concrete action in order to promote the Salesian vocation? Because I have been how many years, including as parent, only 14 years that I know the Salesian. But what I have learned that the mission, our mission is to save the soul of the young. So even later when I become a general economer, so the mission in my mind still save the soul. Or I might become the general formation. So I also like Father Ivo. My mission is still saving the soul of the young. So my idea is I want to see the concrete action of the congregation in order to support the brother to promote the vocation, the Salesian vocation of the brother. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Joachim. Okay, no? So maybe we can call Father Ivo, also Brother John Paul, no? After Father Ivo, no? Because this is a reality that I'm sure you are in touch with all over the world. Like in the case of Brother John Paul, no? I mean, the things you shared with us, no? Is that only an idea, or is it a reality that is happening now in the world, no? That you are proposing to our region? Okay, so let's have Father Ivo, please.
I want to thank Joa for waking me up. And I am very much provoked to respond to this question of, will the superiors allow us to do what we feel called to do? And I want to change the question, no? Today, I hope, I do not know what is really happening in each community of your region, but I really hope that the community has begun discerning together what needs to be done and how to respond to the needs of the youth. It's neither one Salesian brother nor one Salesian priest, and certainly not even one Salesian rector who needs to decide this. I really would like to say, let us think about the community discerning, praying, finding out what it is that God wants us to do, and then doing it wonderfully well. I think we do this, but this is a way we want to emphasize in the new Rector's Manual. You must have all heard about this community of monks in Algeria, Tiberine, who were killed by, we do not know who still. No? But there is a beautiful film made on this, of men and gods. It is worth watching. It is a great exercise of discernment, this film. And it is wonderful to see this great man, Christian de Chergé, leading his community in discerning whether to stay or whether to go. And that was a life and death question. to stay meant to risk dying, and in fact they died. But it is beautiful to see the way this man and the community was able to sit together, struggle together, express all their fears together, and come to an enlightened and discerned conclusion. So just that small invitation, I think rectors should not decide on their own. They should learn to involve the community. We are all involved in this together. And another small point is to invite you all to pick up that document that has been mentioned already, New Wine and New Wineskins. That's the title, I think, in which it says, we are moving since the Vatican Council. Superior authority remains, but it has to be exercised together. It has to be a relational and fraternal kind of authority. And I think this is also an invitation to everyone, to those who have been given the task of leading at this present moment, but to all of us also to realize that decisions cannot come from any one person today. We have to spend time in meetings. They're not a waste of time. They're a way of getting together to discern what God wants us to do. Thank you. And thank you, Jova.
Thank you, Sir Ivo, for that response. Sir John Paul, you're ready? Let's hear something from Brother John Paul.
So, I don't know how to start. I know where you are. Be sure I find you later. So, first of all, I want also to answer, but not to all questions coming up here, but some reflections I made also in the groups and going on. The first is, when you are going, or every one of us who comes outside from Vietnam and has to make a visa to enter Vietnam, or if you are going to make your new passport, the people there are asking you about your identity. No? You know that. Who is giving the answer? Your superiors? Myself? You have to give the answer about your identity. So that means also the answer about the identity, as I tried to mention it yesterday, about who is the Salesian brother today, that are you here, and myself. We are the brothers from today, and we have to give the answer today, what is the Salesian brother today, and what can he be tomorrow. Clear that our rector major and his council and our provincials and their councils also have a big preoccupation. But also here, the superiors we have actually, I'm not a superior. I learned this during my time, that rector major told me that we have only one superior, this the rector major, not this one. And, but the superiors we have actually today are men, as Salesians, elected by us. Okay? So we cannot redelegate our responsibility to those who are now provincials. I can, without now talking about the secrets of the, or about the management and the ongoing of the General Council, we have here certain provincials and also ex-provincials and economists. Nobody of them is only chosen by the rector major because he waked up in the morning under the shower and he say, okay, Godo is the best man, I take him. No. The process to become a superior, for example, the provincial of Vietnam or provincial we have here, is a long process. Our visitators are going around to making the visitation, coming back with the answer from the single confreres, what's happening in our province, what are the issues, what are the challenges, and then also which kind of leader, which kind of provincial we need. And then at the end of our dossier, or of the papers we are becoming, there are then 5, 3, 5, 10 proposals of Salesians who can be the superior of this province for the next 6 years, and also there with their weakness points, strengths, suggestions, and also why they can be superior. So I want to give back the ball to you, to your field, and to say, dear confreres, the responsibility of the ongoing of our congregation, the responsibility is not only by Rector Major. Okay, it takes a lot of decision, but each one of us, look the scandals we have actually in Chile, or look the scandals we have in Australia. One Salesian can destroy a community and also a part of the congregation, and a good number of Salesians can build up for a long time our congregation. So that is very important. Also talking about the Salesian brother. But I see another, I want now to go ahead. The small number of brothers we have actually in the congregation is a preoccupation. Because a part of what Don Bosco wanted to do cannot be realized if the number is going or is going down as is going now down. Because a part of this pastoral work we are doing, a part of this social work we are doing, a part of the sharing of the gospel cannot be more done because we are missing these brothers. We need more brothers, but we need brothers who are clear about their vocations. I'm afraid, also this morning in the group, I'm afraid about how many of the so-called aspirants we have, pre-novices we have, they are not knowing what they want to do when they are becoming Salesian. So I want to, maybe my, my example is not a right example. Maybe in the aspirantate, we can say that it's like, okay, I compare a little our congregation with, okay, we can take someone who is producing cars or another product, no? Maybe in the aspirantate, we are in a dream workshop, okay? Then we are coming to the pre-novitiate. That has to be the design workshop. And we are coming then to the novitiate. I would say he has to start the production. He has to start to become very concrete which kind of Salesian this guy, this man wants to be when he's coming out of the novitiate. And then, okay, formation and also himself are building then up also this person. Finally, to now, also we have to know about the power we have actually as brothers in the congregation. Like in all organizations, in the world, in the society, in big companies, minorities normally have the power to change the world. If you look, a lot of inventions in the world are done by minorities. A lot of change of laws we have are done by minorities. For example, if you look, okay, we can discuss now about the women's rights, but it was some single women standing up and saying, no, we have also rights. And so we have also to see this power. But we have also a critical point for us Salesian brother, and this is a point that came me up also preparing this my speech. When we are looking about the last general chapter, mystics, prophetics, and servants, we Salesian brother are very, very good to be servants. But we have to do a lot to be more and realistic and honest mystics and prophetics. And this is also a part of my answer to Václav now. Maybe when the term is over, that I can no more be so practical a servant in the workshop or in the administration or where I am, the sacristy or where I am, then is the point, especially there also is a point when I have not learned in my time as young Salesian, become an elderly Salesian, to be also prophetic and mystic, then what I am serving then the congregation when I'm becoming elderly? But if I have learned it, I can inspire the full congregation, I can inspire the society around our Salesian community to be more also spiritual and share the gospel. And another point, I'm very thankful to all of you, where it comes up also here, this idea, what you say, to read the signs of the world. If we now actually would have here a radio, I have not a radio now, a transistor radio. Okay, normally we don't have no more, no? But if you would switch on now here a radio, there would come up a certain music or someone would speak. And I think we Salesians, especially we Salesian brothers, I like a radio, which the young people can switch off. This full environment is plenty now of music we don't listen, we don't hear, no? Full of radio speakers we don't listen. And this is the situation also of our young people. They are in a world with so many information and so much. But we are this radio switched on, we can give them the speech they need to listen, and we can give them the orientation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brother John Paul, for that intervention. Anyone else who would like to add to the discussion here in the big group? Okay, going once, going twice. So we thank everybody for their contribution to this afternoon's discussion. Can we give each other a big hand, please? Thank you. Okay, we call on Clement. Clement, you have something to say? Okay, so from this time onwards, we have the break until 6:30, where we will have the Vespers. We will have the venue for the Vespers here in the
As yesterday.
in the tent. Yeah.
As the day before. Okay, just one little feedback. In our hands are many things we cannot digest here. No, we have this booklet number 2, listening to the brothers, plus many more interviews. For example, already many of them in Vietnamese already. What struck me reading that, it is now more spiritual reading, no? Because some of these points are very deep and came in the small groups again when I was roaming around. But for example, open page 68, there is one Salesian brother from Japan, Brother Peter Mori, who is now a member of Miyazaki community, retired. Now he's 77, now 79. It is interview of 2 years ago. And you know, when you are 79, what will you do? When he retired from the school, he got some inspiration to be a missionary in Japan in a very simple way. While helping the community ordinary chores, he started to distribute medals of the miraculous medal of Our Lady, but only to non-Catholics. He distributed 30,000. So this article is written, Guinness record in distribution to miraculous medal. Anyway, the form of the Salesian brother, there are so many, and we probably need to, like Brother Jean-Paul is telling, be more on the waves of the radio, what is happening with the Salesian brother in our region, in Africa. We will like to hear at least tomorrow Brother Job from Nigeria, or the other brothers at least from Europe, from South Asia, because the richness of your mission is really huge. But again, it is not at the spotlight. So this little booklet, like an appetizer, and this Brother Mori, one of the examples that it is out of the box completely, but it's a strong inspiration for many young Salesians in Japan, for example. So have a good time, and this booklet, I wish will be translated at least few things to many of our languages, because it's a good treasure. Thank you very much.
So thank you. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.